World premiere.
What have you done?
Hello, I'm Tatiana Delgado from Out of the Blue Games, working on Call of the Sea. You might have seen our reveal trailer during the recent Xbox Series X event, but we wanted to take the opportunity to walk you through it and tell you a bit more about the game.
How strange that your trail ends here.
Call of the Sea is a first-person adventure puzzle game set in the 1930s that takes place in the far reaches of the South Pacific. You take the role of Nora, a woman who has crossed an ocean in search of her husband's missing expedition. At Out of the Blue, we love telling stories and designing puzzles. That is why we wanted to create a game that had a strong presence of both. And also, we always approach our games with the player's emotions in mind. That being said, although Call of the Sea is a puzzle game, I would say that it is the narrative that drives the game. Therefore, puzzles serve the narrative and make the story advance as a reward when solving them. Some of the puzzles we have to do with the expedition itself, using the real-world technology of the era. In others, you will try to decipher what the ancient runes were for. And going back to the story, we have the good fortune of having actress Cissy Jones as the voice of Nora. We adore her acting in Firewatch and her ability to create a strong presence with only her voice. It is a tale of self-discovery, an exploration not only of the island, but of the character's inner self. Although our game was inspired to an extent by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, this is not a horror game, but an adventure game. We hope to give you a vivid mystery and at the same time an emotional journey. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to revealing more of Call of the Sea in the coming months.
Our detective games, such as the Sherlock Holmes adventures, as well as the recent The Sinking City. we are working on our new game, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. It's a story-driven investigation thriller in which you play as the young 21-year-old Sherlock before he becomes the legend that we all know. Before John Watson and Jim Moriarty, Sherlock was a brilliant but rebellious aspiring detective trying to prove himself. The game takes place in the late 19th century on a small Mediterranean island where, according to our story, Sherlock grew up before moving to England, and to where he comes back, now as an outsider, to investigate the mysterious death of his mother, the death that scarred his childhood. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 is an open-world detective game with minimum hand-holding. In this game we are introducing the concept of global investigation gameplay that is heavily based on the feedback that we received from the players on our previous games. We build it on bringing in numerous detective features and mechanics that not only synergize with one another but also allow you to interact with the world around you. For example, you can now decide to involve random people on the streets in your investigation, ask them for directions, or question those citizens who you think match your suspect profile. And if you doubt they would even talk to some foreigner like you can for instance find the right disguise, say a police uniform, to loosen their tone. It's up to you to discover that synergy and use it at the right time, because as I mentioned, there is minimum hand-holding in the game. Of course, making the right deductions and tracking down criminals is another exciting part of a detective's job. We are aiming to give the player the chance to miss a piece of evidence, pursue their own lead, and eventually let a killer walk free. Those who played our Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments will know what I'm talking about.
Cuts the flesh, the mind will fall. Slay the seven, save us all. Fulfill what others failed to do. Mornia depends on you. 7 acolytes.
Exclusive.
Cris Tales is our indie love letter to classic JRPGs. So far, we've shown a small portion of the game's overall content and the ways that you'll be able to learn from the past, act in the present, and rewrite the future, all in real time on one screen. This unique presentation lets you see the impact of your choices instantly, and to get really creative in combat by combining skills and playing with time. Speaking of combat, we just updated our demo on Steam to include Wilhelm, the Child Mage, in a mini Colosseum mode that features a number of new, challenging battles. We're really excited to be bringing Cris Tales both to next-gen consoles and all current consoles later this year.
That, what's next? Chemtrails? Now it's far.
Exclusive.
Rated T for Teen.
Hi, my name is Dane. I'm the director at Easy Day Studios and we're working on Skater XL. Today we're showing a first look at the Easy Day High School level. This is a new environment we've been working on for some time and we're excited to show it off today. This level is based on something that's really key to skateboarding, which is the California school environment. This is something that's been in countless skate videos over the years, elementary schools, high schools, very common sort of area, type of terrain for skateboarding. One thing we learned in starting to build environments for Skater XL is that we have a very unique game mechanic, so we had to go back to the drawing board on how the levels were designed. The pieces of the level are combinations of elements that we've designed ourselves, but also we mix in countless real-world spots. There's probably about 25 real skate spots some that are very recognizable to anyone in skateboarding, from real high schools, real elementary schools. We've got Wallenberg, we've got Clipper, we've got parts of Lockwood Elementary, just a lot of different places. Again, these are historic pieces. If you know skating, you probably know a bunch of these spots. And the interesting thing is, again, based on the game mechanic itself, we've actually massaged and tweaked each of these spots to be not just recognizable, but also really fun and work with the game mechanic as well.
I'm flying out to unknown settings. Look at how we shine. This is the life. House on the heat. This is the life.
The unique thing about SkaterXL is it really starts with the controls. The joysticks, the analog sticks on the gamepad, map directly to the feet, so you have independent control of each of the foot, and everything is completely physics-based and generated in the moment. So what this leads to is, kind of a first for skateboarding games in general, is that, the gameplay is not driven by animations, it's driven by the physics. We didn't actually program tricks into the game, we just programmed movement, and with that movement you're able to do all kinds of tricks. So as you build up your skill, you're also building up your ability to articulate and perform those tricks in different ways. The element of style and execution comes into it, and that's really where the satisfaction, the fun of this game comes, that you're really directly in control. Just like real skateboarding, there's such a depth in the ways that you can use that board and how you can develop your skills. It becomes a very personal thing, and in the real world that leads to all these other things that pop up around skateboarding, the culture and the creative side and the community, and that's something very unique to skateboarding you don't see with other things. So, our goal has really been to capture a lot of those elements and bring them into the game as well. The interesting thing is that it's been a decade since the last significant entrant into the skateboarding genre, and it hasn't been explored in recent times when we have all these different things available to connect the community, to put content out, different platforms. So we're seeing a really interesting explosion of content, our creative community and modders and all these different things happening around the core of the game. So it's really exciting to see where this could lead in the future. SkaterXL is coming out onto all major platforms July 28th, and that includes Nintendo Switch.
We have arrived.
For too long, the phasmids have been causing trouble in our peaceful little corner of space. But not any longer.
Gina, let's go full Abrams with the flares.
Enlist today to embark on an epic space adventure and do your part.
Let's get some of those cool wipey things in this part, Gina.
Join us on Athena's station. Experience the rush of spaceflight. Seek out new life. And make new friends along. And make new friends. And make new friends along the way. Live, laugh, and prosper. And may the Force join the space crew.
Gina, let's zoom around in 3D and get some explosions going on here. End it with a bang.
These are not words I wish to write. I fear you may believe me taken with madness. My father seeks to use me. He wishes me to sing for him as she did. To become the star attraction that will draw good folk to this accursed spit of land. I cannot explain further, but ask that you trust me. Your love, always, Elizabeth.
Hello, my name is Ben Tester, and I'm Head of Marketing at Wells Interactive. Right now we're finishing work on a new title, Made of Scare, and we're really excited to be able to share with you this new and exclusive gameplay footage. Made of Scare is a first-person survival horror game, which features a story inspired by Welsh folklore. It fuses psychological, gothic, and British horror. Set in 1898, Made of Scare is inspired by the haunting Welsh tale of Elizabeth Williams. It's a story of a family empire that's driven by torture, slavery, piracy, and a supernatural mystery that suffocates the grounds of the hotel. In this footage, we wanted to explore the 3D sound-based AI system that is the core survival mechanic. We want to show you what you can do to remain undetected, and if you're caught, what tools are available for you to survive. The enemies at Scare Hotel are completely blind, and they hunt by only what they can hear. So any noise that you make from walking or running, bumping into environmental objects, or even breathing heavily will often result in death. So you can avoid detection by creeping, avoiding the obstacles that make the noise, but if the enemies are close, then holding your breath is the only option. If you mistime this and run out of breath, then even your panting will get you killed. You are not completely defenseless. There'll be a sound-based weapon available with limited ammo that's hidden in and around the grounds of the hotel. You'll have to find health items, collectibles, puzzle pieces, map pieces, and story pickups, all items that you can find and add to your inventory. The game will feature 3 levels of difficulty. The scares remain the same throughout, but a change in AI behavior, enemy strength, limited manual saves, and reduced ammo and health items will put more of an emphasis on that classic survival horror experience. Made of Scare is coming to PC and console, with a digital and physical launch on PS4 and Xbox One this July. You can wishlist the game now on Steam, and pre-purchase will be available in the coming weeks. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Exclusive.
Hello, I'm John Pearl, the design director at Gunfire Games. Right now, the team is hard at work on Subject 2923, the final DLC for Remnant from the Ashes. This DLC is much larger and more expansive than any of the previous content we've released. This DLC will introduce a brand new campaign that takes place a year after the events of the base campaign of Remnant. This campaign focuses on the origin of the Dreamer project and how it connects to the Roots invasion on Earth. With the footage we're showing, we're giving y'all a sneak peek at the icy and unforgiving heights of the new explorable world of Reesum. The inhabitants of the world are an entirely new faction of enemies, the Uriki, which are a race of menacing humanoid rats. In combat, you'll find they are as resourceful as they are deadly. This DLC has a lot of additional content. With the addition of the new campaign comes all new quests, bosses, weapons, trinkets, armor sets, and more. Additionally, Reesum will be added as an option in Adventure mode, and if you have the Swamps of Courses DLC, it'll add Reesum to the rotation of Survival mode as well. Subject 2923 DLC is coming to PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 on August 20th, and we can't wait for everyone to play it. Thank you so much for tuning in to find out what's next for Remnant from the Ashes. Hope you all enjoy the rest of the future game show.
Oh my god, there are aliens all over the ship. Come on, open up. Wow, this looks kind of dangerous. Good!
Ready! Get your goddamn dirty tentacles off of my spaceship!
Biological components operating at 100%. Skill assimilated.
Reminds me of one of those old-fashioned video games. And I'm done.
Taking charge. I haven't used one of these since 3086. I'm still right.
Those aliens picked the wrong ship to mess with.
And welcome to Main Assembly, a game that gives you the freedom to create anything you can imagine. With huge open sandboxes to explore, your creations will be pushed to the breaking point. Jam-packed with loads of challenges and parts to unlock, pushing your inventions to the limit. Revolutionary freeform crafting lets you construct anything with ease and precision. Once you have perfected your design, why not take it for a test flight? Happy with how your robot looks? With the visual programming interface, you can set up controls and use sensors to make logic for different types of automation and really put your creations to work. Or jump online with friends to compete and collaborate. Show your creations to the world and test out what others in the community have built in the workshop. Will your creation be the one that everyone is talking about?
Who would do this? Who would murder families and children? Let's find the monsters who did this. Drop your guns and she doesn't die. Got it?
Rated M for mature.
Please come in, Miss Reed. Come in.
Good evening, Mr. Ashman. Do you remember me?
Only between old friends.
I'm Jennifer, by the way.
Lindsay? But call me Lynn.
At last. It's just a bad dream.
Don't do it, Mr. Ashman.
World premiere.
Time on the Outriders broadcast. We'll be taking a look at the journey into the unknown, plus the characters joining your adventure as you battle through a hostile world. We'll also be showcasing a brand new area and delving deeper into our next class, the Pyromancer. Coming next month.
See what we've got. 5 integrated outlaws.
Sir, have you got weapons and shelter in there? Maybe you could give us a chance to rest.
We may have more of interest to you than guns.